All right, Labor's budget this week confirmed their ideological green dream environmental spending. And it will not deliver a carbon neutral paradise, but it's actually going to deliver a costly green nightmare of terrifying proportions for the Australian economy. Here to discuss it with her hidden agenda segment is my regular guest, former MP Nicolle Flint. Hello, Nicolle. Great to have you on. The budget turned out not to be great for news for jobs, for investment or productivity. That's my assessment. How do you see it?
Yes, Cory, absolutely, and particularly in relation to what the Environment Department and the Climate Change Minister will be doing to businesses. So what Labor announced was a lot more taxes, compensation for businesses that they're trying to put out of business, more subsidies for unproven technology, but also a lot more bureaucrats, particularly in the environmental space, more cops on the beat, that's what they're calling them, so that can only be bad news for business, and also an extra $5 billion or so in funding for the Department of Climate Change and Environment.
Of course, there's always more money for that, but what is it about our reliable energy providers, the coal, the gas, that the Greens and Labor seem to dislike so much? It's like they want us to go back to the Stone Age.
Well, yes, they do, don't they? Of course they don't want reliable baseload power that's cheap and affordable, Cory, because that disrupts their mantra that everything must be carbon neutral and anything that emits any carbon must be banned from our society. So they did something really shocking, Soviet style, in December, which was they put a price cap on coal and also on gas. And at the time, some brave souls in the industry spoke out. There weren't many who were brave enough to do so, but called it out for what it was. I mean, this is a sort of policy setting enforcing a specific price cap on industry that you would expect to see in Soviet Russia or communist China. So they did that, and so now they're having to pay the coal companies compensation because their prices and costs are going up, and yet they've been price capped. So Labor are apparently going to pay, and this was not in the budget papers because they've claimed that it's commercial in confidence, but they may have to pay up to $2 billion in compensation to coal companies. So, Cory, you and I, the taxpayers, viewers at home, taxpayers of Australia are the ones who will be paying this compensation on top of not getting cheaper power bills. But it's not just the coal companies. They've done this to gas as well. So they've announced $2 billion of extra tax on the gas industry. So our local gas producers and exporters, very, very important source of export income, will be paying $16 billion of tax this year, Cory. At the same time, of course, they also announced that green hydrogen, the most inefficient form of hydrogen, globally unproven, but, you know, people like Twiggy Forrest are very strong proponents, will be given $2 billion of taxpayers' money on top of the $41 billion already earmarked, an extra $2 billion to set up, I think, three pilot projects. Now, if someone like Twiggy Forrest has got a lot of money, I don't know why he can't fund this himself if he's so sure that this is the right technology.
But isn't this true about all renewable energy? I mean, why are we subsidising wind and solar? This is the environmental toxic waste dumps of the future.
Yes.
Why are we having to throw $2 billion into the plaything of billionaires already?
Yes.
This is why the country is going broke. And they've got this pathological hatred of the industries that provide 71% of our, baseload electricity.
Cheap, reliable baseload power.
So why is this? How do we stop this, Nicolle? This is the huge challenge.
Well, we need to get rid of the federal Labor government, Cory, and we saw Peter Dutton making some really brave statements about nuclear in his budget in reply speech. So I think we need to get the federal coalition back in power to ensure that we can power Australia into the future, because I don't think hydrogen is the answer, Cory. Having done the reading that I've done, I really don't think it's the answer, and it's certainly not going to be the answer in the short term.
I agree with you, and the caveat is we need the Liberal Party, to let Peter Dutton have his head here to take the party and guide it and shape it in the direction that it needs to be shaped in order to provide a better Australia. Let's wait and see if the lefty Liberals allow him to do that. Thanks for your time and joining me on Bernardi tonight, Nicolle Flint.